Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve a system of linear equations by graphing. So I have two examples. I have number 9 and number 10. The idea to solve a system by graphing is to graph both lines, and you guys need to check where the two lines will intersect. So to graph the lines, you would need to use the slope and the y-intercept. So you're going to have to graph each one by one, and I'm going to start with example number 9. The top equation is 3x minus y equals 4. So to find the slope and the y-intercept, I'm going to get the y by itself. That 3x, I'm going to move it to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to do the opposite. I am going to subtract 3x from both sides. And when I do that, I'm going to do the work on the right side over here. You guys keep the negative y, and then you guys have the equal sign, negative 3x plus 4. Keep in mind that these two terms, 4 and negative 3x, are not like terms, so you just put them side by side. Now the y has a negative, so I need to get rid of that negative, and I am going to divide by negative 1 to get rid of that. So whatever you do to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So you guys are going to divide everything by negative 1, and that's going to turn the y to positive, and you guys will have a positive 3x here. You guys have two negatives, so we have 3x. And then the next one, positive 4 divided by negative 1, will be negative 4. Once you guys have the y by itself, this is the slope-intercept form. So my slope is going to be the coefficient of the x. So right now, m stands for slope. We have the 3 here, so I'm going to put the 3. And since I need the rise and the run, I need to turn that into a fraction. The b value is going to be the constants after the x. So the constants is the number with no variable. So that will be a negative 4. So that's going to be our first line. In the coordinate plane, you start with the y-intercept, and I'm going to label that for you so you guys remember which one is the y-intercept. That's your b value. So you guys are going to start at that point on the y-axis. So you guys are going to go down 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and you guys are going to make a point there. And then you guys are going to find a second point. And it's a very good idea to make 4, 5, 6 points when you guys are graphing a system of linear equations, because you guys want to have the lines really exact. So you guys are going to make more points using the slope, and my slope is positive 3 over 1. So I'm going to go up 3 from the y-intercept, 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right, and I make a second point, and I'm going to do that again. I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. I'll make one more point. I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. And you guys will connect the points. And once you connect the points, make sure you also make your arrowheads. Every line that you guys graph will need arrowheads, because the lines keep going and going to negative infinity and to positive infinity. Then you guys are going to graph the second line. The second line, here we have x plus 2y equals 6. So to find the slope and the y-intercept, I need to get the y by itself. So that x, I need to take it to the other side. So I'm going to do the opposite of the x. I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and this will cancel here. So you guys bring down the 2y equals negative x and the positive 6. I'm going to get the y by itself, so I'm going to divide by the 2. So that's because I want to find the slope and the y-intercept. So divide everything by 2 here. Whatever you do to one side, you do it to the other side. So you guys will have this turns into 1. Y equals negative. Now notice the x has an invisible 1 here. So I'm going to have 1 over 2. And you keep the x. 1 over 2x. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I'm looking at these two numbers here. Positive 3, 6 divided by 2. Now for this equation, my slope is the one with the x, so I'm going to put it on the side over here. M is negative 1 over 2. And when you guys have a negative exponent, not exponent, I'm sorry. When you guys have a negative slope, that negative, you always take it to the top number. So this negative is going to be for the 1, negative 1, over, and the bottom will be just a 2 or a positive number. And my slope for that line is going to be the constant, the positive 3. So on the y-axis, you guys are going to go to the positive 3. So from the origin, 1, 2, 3, you guys make a point there. And then my slope remember it is negative, so that means you go down 1 and 2 to the right. So 1 down, 1, 2 to the right. And you notice that the second point, the red point I'm drawing, is on top of the blue point that we already have. So that is going to be the point of intersection, or the two lines. But let me do a few more points from the second point. I'm going to go down 1, 1, 2 to the right. And I'm going to make one more point, 1 down, 1, 2 to the right. You guys are going to connect the points. And do not forget the arrowheads at the end of the lines, because they do go to infinity. Now, you notice the two lines, the blue line and the red line, they do intersect at this point. I'm going to highlight it so you guys can see it. Right there, it is highlighted in green. So we need to know what is that coordinate. That's going to be my solution for the system. When you guys have your intersection, the point of intersection, that's going to be one solution, and I need the coordinate for that point. So I'm going to put here one solution, and we need parentheses because it is an order pair. So from the origin, you need to know what is the coordinate, the x coordinate and the y coordinate. So I go 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2 up, 2 to the right, 2 up. So that's going to be 2, comma, 2. So that is the solution for the system. You guys have one point, and it is the point of intersection. The second example, number 10, notice the first equation, y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. Well, that already has y by itself. So the only thing we need to find is the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope is the coefficient of the x, and that is the negative 1/2. And remember that I said if you guys have a negative next to the fraction, you guys take that to the top of the number. So I'm going to take the negative to the top and keep the 2 on the bottom. The y-intercept is going to be the constant, so in this one is negative 2. So the equation is already set up in slope intercept form, and you guys just need to find the slope and the y-intercept. So you guys are going to make a point at negative 2 on the y-axis, which is right there. And then using the slope, you guys go down 1. It is a negative 1, down 1, and 2 to the right. So my slope, 1 down, 1, 2 to the right. And it's a very good idea if you guys make more points, 1 down, 2 to the right. And you guys can also go backwards. So instead of going 1 down, 2 to the right, I'm going to go back to the y-intercept. You guys go up 1 and 2 to the left. That's the opposite. That's when you guys want to make more points on the other direction. So you guys can go 1 up, 2 to the left. So either way is fine, but you guys need to make your line. So I have my first line, the red line on the graph with the arrowheads, obviously. You always need those arrowheads to show that they go to infinity. And I need to graph the second line. So for the second line, I don't have y by itself. It's almost by itself, but I have a 2 next to the y. So I am going to divide by 2, and whatever you do to one side, you guys do it to the other side. So I'm going to do the work. I'm going to write down the equation on the right side, so just follow the arrow here. So 2 divided by 2 with the y, that turns into 1. So there's my y by itself. The next one, we do have a negative invisible 1 next to the x. So you guys are going to put negative 1 over 2 and keep the x. And the next one will be negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. When you guys graph it, you need to know the slope. My slope for this line is negative 1 over 2. And the y-intercept will be the negative 3. So when you guys graph it, notice that you guys go down 3. So from the origin, 1, 2, 3. So I'm right here, right below the first line. So right there. And then I go down 1. That's the negative 1 over 2. So 1 down, 2 to the right. So 1 down, 1, 2 to the right. And then I make another point, 1 down, 2 to the right. And like I said, guys, you can also go backwards. So you guys can go up from the y-intercept, 1 up, 2 to the left. And you guys can do that again, 1 up, 2 to the left. So notice that every point that I'm drawing is actually underneath the first line. So let me connect the points here. And once you guys look at the two lines, well, they're parallel. They do not intersect. So for this system, since the lines do not intersect, it is a special case. When you guys have parallel lines, your answer or your solutions, you won't have any because the lines are not intersecting. So we write down no solution. Now if you have the lines, so you graph the system and the two lines are the same line, so one line is on top of the other one, that's when you guys have many solutions because the two lines will be intersecting everywhere. One line is on top of the other one, so they will be intersecting everywhere. That will be infinitely many solutions. So this is solving a system by graphing. I hope you guys like my video. You guys can click that like button, and also guys, you can tell your friends, other people, if they need help with Algebra 1, they can watch my videos. You guys can subscribe to my channel, and the way you guys can learn math is by practice. So make sure you guys practice, and I'll see you guys later.